Right now we have Yulia, an assistant professor of British literature, Yulia Kuznetsky. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for joining us here. And I also have Maris Peters with us here. She is from the Internationalization Coordinator, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you please quickly, Yulia, tell me about your specialty, basically?
I'm associate professor of British literature, so my background is in literary studies. I studied at Tallinn University as a bachelor student of English, just like Lydia. And then I went on for a master's because my special interest was literature. And then I went on with literature into PhD as well.
Really awesome. What about you, Maris?
My background is that I did my BA in once existing private university, Eesti Humanitaar Institute, Estonian School of Humanities, which is now consumed into this bigger Tallinn University. After that, I carried on doing MA in Shakespeare studies in Britain. And then some years ago, I did another MA at Tallinn University in education management.
Wow, it's really awesome. Okay, right now we have a couple of students asking that, okay, for several years, I'm sure you have also been in the admission process, interviewing a lot of students. What are some of the issues that you see in the motivational letter that they submit, and how can they improve? As this is for you, Maris.
I think one of the problems we notice often with the motivation letters is that the candidates are either trying to approach it as question-answer thing, trying to give us the exact pieces of information that we pinpoint that the motivation letters should also include, but we do not mean that it has to include only this information. And then there's a problem with people who try to convince us so much about how wonderful candidates and how suitable candidates they are, that they forget completely that motivation letters should also include something about those topics that we'd like to hear about.
That's true. So basically, we're going to point out that they have to make sure that most of the requirements that are put there, that are listed out, they have to make sure that they at least tell us about it, and we can see that they're quite a good fit for the course. Yeah. Okay, talking about the internship, quite a lot of students also want to know what are the opportunities for them, where can they do their internship as students from the program?
Yes, well, internship is a difficult topic even for local students, and especially with COVID, it has been quite challenging to find places because some of the work process was online even for regular workers. But we try to help our students as much as we can, and actually many of our students have already had jobs even before studying with us, or found them while studying. So they have done internship in museums and actually learned that museum work is not to do with some dusty shelves or something boring from the past, but you can be very creative, and actually Estonian museums are wonderfully digitalized and offer a lot of interactive activities, so students can participate in that, design even electronic exhibitions. So they have done that, and then library work is also possible, interpreting, assisting in language classes, as we have a variety of speakers of different languages that are also taught in Estonia. So this, if you think creatively, it is possible to find internship and apply your skills very effectively.
And we only recently launched a new traineeship page for our liberal arts, so there is student stories, a list of possible internship places for people who have been doing their internship. So there's a pool of information already available online concerning internship.
That's really awesome. Okay. Also, we have people asking, because you're still sitting on the fence, deciding on whether to take this course at all. I understand that you have quite a lot of modules, and that also means that there's an opportunity to actually work in different, fairs or industries. So what are the most common industries that graduates can actually, just go into after studying from in the School of Humanities?
I don't think that is actually the most common field. At least I can't pinpoint anything at the moment. And lots of people have gone actually on doing their MA instead of concentrating on work. So that's a good way to carry on with your education.
Yeah. Okay. Someone is asking, said, what are the most difficult subjects in the curriculum? And why is that?
Well, it depends on what qualifies as difficult. Something that implies a lot of work, or something that is difficult to digest. Many foreign students who are not prepared find Estonian language challenging, but it's because you have to be fully committed and attend on all the classes and try to practice as much as possible. Then critical thinking has been cited as a challenging subject, but this is also because it needs commitment, and this is an essential skill to learn to think critically. Then any field can be open for you afterwards.
Yeah. Talking about critical thinking, I know that it requires, like you mentioned, quite a lot of attention.
Yes.
And the world is so noisy lately. You have social media distracting you, you have people distracting you. So what is your one tip for the student that is going to come and study so that they don't have the same issues that the student before them had? So what would you advise them? How do you start practicing to become a critical thinker?
To be able to think critically, you should focus on thinking critically. That is the two components, thinking and critically.
So do I just
really
take out time?
Yes.
Just go somewhere and...
Indeed, and it takes commitment, as you said. There is so much unnecessary noise, but it's necessary also to approach that noise critically. Think whether you need it or whether you need to focus right now on solving the problems and diving deep into the issues. But I also think that that question can be asked to our students because they have been immersed into those subjects.
That's very true.
Yes.
Okay, away from studies right now, you spend most of your time on campus because, of course, you're a lecturer. So what's your favorite place, within Tallinn University? Where do you just go and cool off, apart from the classes where you teach?
Difficult to say. It's the whole place is one big home. Not that I have been everywhere. I think I haven't even visited the most recent building that we have opened. But our School of Humanities has its own several floors, I would say, in the building, where we can easily meet up with our students, and they are always welcome to visit us. So I think the whole place is a lovely place to be in.
What about you?
Well, for me, I like our library. Well, our library consists of two parts. One is that is on campus, it's called Study Center, and we have academic library that is in town. But into the study center, it's really well equipped. You go there and you can find quiet boxes to study, and you can also find seats for several people to just sit together and quietly interact, and also some study seminar rooms where you can discuss or watch a movie together. But apart from that, when the times are normal, of course, and I hope we are going back to normal soon, my probably the favorite place is when you enter the building. There is a big space that we call a Researchers Forum. That is like this atrium building. Because when it is full of people during the breaks especially, but it's always full of people, then you can, only when you enter, you can see faces of all colors and shapes and hear different languages. So it's really, you come from town like into a different world, because our university is so international, and our school in particular. And that's the first probably immersion into this noise of intermingling languages. That's really very awesome.
The times we had.
I hope we're having them back.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us this insight. I'm sure a lot of people are inspired by what we've discussed here, and probably you'll be getting a couple of people also wanting to come around. Thank you very much.